Hello everyone. You have come to Facts You Need to Know channel. This is the story of Turkey, a country connecting Europe and Asia. Turkey with a lot of attractions will appear before us in the next few minutes. Turkey is also synonymous with Turkey. We're going to start exploring this country together right now. Geography. Turkey connects Europe and Asia. In fact, 97% of the country is located in Asia, and only 3% is located in Europe. So in terms of geography, Turkey belongs to Asia. The area of Turkey is 783,562 square kilometers. The population is 84.78 million. This is one of the countries with the most borders with many other countries in the world. They have 8 neighbors. With a complicated location, the north of Turkey borders the Black Sea. The south borders the Mediterranean Sea. The black border of Turkey is up to 1,650 kilometers long. Turkey is the crossroads of economic centers, and also the birthplace of battles between the world's major civilizations. Until now, conflicts still broke out here. It is also one of the most earthquake-prone areas in the world. The country has suffered 13 earthquakes in the past 70 years. There is a part of the fault of the Earth's crust that appears on the territory of Turkey, and every year it moves about 20 centimeters. Turkey's highest mountain is Mount Ararat. It has 2 peaks, of which the highest is Greater Ararat with an elevation of 5,137 meters. The high mountains have always been considered sacred, the origin of peoples and nations. It is also considered to have a giant ship in the legend, the Noah. About climate. Turkey is a country located in a subtropical climate and has a variety of climates depending on the terrain, so the country is divided into 4 distinct seasons of the year. About politically. We have mentioned the story of Turkey with 97% of its area located in Asia, but politically this is a European country. Because Turkey was one of the earliest members of NATO. The reason is that after the establishment of the Turkish Republic, the country's first president oriented Turkey to become a Western country. Even Turkey's largest city is iconic. This city is located between Asia and Europe, but it has more European features. It's Istanbul. Make no mistake, Istanbul isn't the capital of Turkey. The capital of Turkey is Ankara. About the flag of Turkey. The flag of Turkey has a crescent moon and a star, both of which are white on a red background. The crescent moon and star are the symbol of the Turks, and the crescent moon is also the symbol of the Muslims. Red means Turkey inherits the traditions and power of the Ottoman Empire. About people and culture. Turkey is located between Europe and Asia. Therefore, this place also has a very diverse culture with many ethnic groups. Many different ethnic groups, who have conquered this land together for thousands of years. The majority of Turkey's population lives in the city. Children who want to go to secondary school must also move to a city to be able to go to school. The people are predominantly Muslim. The Turkish people are described as gentle and hospitable people, but deep inside they still have the qualities of the ancient warriors who belonged to the Ottoman Empire. Currently, there are about 2 million Turks working in Germany, and they have established their own communities here. This is the largest group of Turkish expatriates. Regarding sports, football is also a very famous sport in Turkey. In 2002, they finished 3rd in the World Cup. Clubs in Turkey with their stadium are often referred to for their lively and very passionate atmosphere. However, football is not a national sport of Turkey. Football is just the most popular sport. Turkey's national sport is wrestling. But they don't wrestle in the normal way, they pour grease on the wrestlers. Participants must put olive oil on their bodies. They must try to crush their opponents to the ground or lift them into the air. This wrestling festival holds the Guinness Book of Records. This is the longest continuously held sports event. It was started in the 1300s and continues to take place to this day. This is not only a normal sports festival, it's also an occasion for cultural exchange of local communities. Turkey is the world's largest exporter of chestnuts, accounting for about 80% of global production. This is also the country that drinks the most tea in the world. On average, a Turkish person drinks about 3 pounds of tea a year. This is a level of consumption that exceeds that of many other countries. When it comes to Turkey, it will have to mention the city of Istanbul. It is a central city connecting different continents and cultures. The city is home to 15 million people. It is also the region's busiest commercial center, Turkey's largest city, an Asian city closest to Europe and vice versa. Because this city is on both continents, This city has 2,600 years of history. There are many churches, temples, mosques, historical buildings, ancient cultural features that make Istanbul the most attractive destination in Turkey. When traveling to Turkey, people almost by default will set foot in Istanbul. Istanbul was once the capital of many powerful empires. Under the Ottomans, the city had 1,400 public toilets, the most prominent of its time, while the rest of Europe had no public toilets. Turkey is a land of many mysteries. If you know the movie, Trojan War, a Hollywood masterpiece. In this movie, Achilles used the trick of being the famous wooden horse that caused Troy to fail, and be buried deep in the ground for thousands of years. In fact, the Trojan city does not only exist on film, it exists in real life. Çanakkale is an interesting attraction in Turkey. There, people make a wooden horse so that visitors can come to take pictures. Experience how it is like to get inside the body of a wooden horse, like the warriors of old. Turkey is the home of Santa Claus. You didn't hear it wrong. Because Saint Nicholas, the historical figure behind the inspiration for our Santa Claus, was born in Turkey, around AD 300. He was a holy man who performed many miracles to save people, to save sailors on sinking ships. Although Santa Claus is native to Turkey, the country does not celebrate Christmas according to tradition because it is a mainly Muslim country. Turkey is home to tulips. Because tulips were first grown in the Ottoman Empire, which is the land of Turkey now. Tulips had burst across Turkey, with a Dutch emissary visiting Turkey in the 16th century. He then returned to his country with a bouquet of tulips to the city of Amsterdam. And the rest, as we have said, is the story of history. The next interesting thing is the giant wooden ark, Noah. Was it really found in Turkey? We have to go back through history again. There is a story that God realized that the more human beings multiply, the more they commit so many sins that they are not healed. But now that there was a man on earth named Noah, he had an upright heart so that God could not kill him. God warned him of his intentions. Listening to God, he built a huge boat 360 meters long by 20 meters wide by 13.6 meters high, and was divided into several layers and brought all the animals up there with only one pair each. Then the cataclysmic flood was created by God. In recent years, Turkish researchers and international researchers have searched the top of Mount Atlas, Turkey's highest peak, amidst thick snow, and found 7 large wooden chambers. Early tests show that the age of these pieces of wood is consistent with the time described in the Bible. They suspected this was the legendary Noah's Ark. One of the most exciting experiences in Turkey is flying a hot air balloon. Hot air balloons fly over unique valleys, rocky canyons of different shapes. This becomes one of the most beautiful hot air balloon destinations in the world. It is said that this is the experience of flying in fairyland. The experimental flight distance of the balloon will be about 2.5 kilometers and with an altitude of about 1 kilometer, and an hour of flying in the air. This is considered an adventurous sport. 1 year of hot air balloon can only fly for about 250 days. These are all interesting stories about Turkey. Thank you for following this story. If you find it interesting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Now goodbye and see you in the next sections.